Shalom Yasha Allah, his brother Mapathak. That'd be key, but in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. And it's gonna be a video dealing with the topic of patience. You understand? Right? Patience is one of the most important traits you can have, right? On even in this, I should say on a worldly level, but even much more in the truth, right? Waiting for the Lord's deliverance, right? Being patient in the times of trials and tribulations, right? In the times of temptation. You understand? Patience is super important, right? And before we go into the words of the Lord, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's all praise to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh, and the name of his only begotten Son, who the world will ignorantly call Jesus Christ. But we know him as Yahweh Shai in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. And I want to dive into this thing with Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 23. And it reads, and kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers, right? And this is a prophecy about the kingdom of heaven, right? Just to kind of throw that out there, right? It says, they shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet, right? So these different nations, the mighty men of these different nations, right? The kings of these nations, they're going to bow down to the elect, right? And lick up the dust of their feet in the kingdom of heaven, right? And it says, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. For they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. And that's really the key point I wanted, right? If you patiently wait for the promises of the Lord, you understand? If you patiently wait for the salvation of the Lord, for the return of the Lord, you should not be ashamed, man, right? You know how you might, on the carnal level, you might be waiting for whatever it may be. You might be waiting for the damn bus, man, right? You kind of waiting for the bus. You tapping your foot, right? Or you might even just be patiently waiting for the bus. Hey, and that bus never come. That bus got into an accident. That bus, whatever may have happened, the bus just never came. Hey, and now you ashamed, man, right? Because you patiently waited for that bus, but it never came. But it's not going to be like that with the Lord. You understand, right? And what they say about the where they make the joke about Jake. Oh, well, it's not even really a joke. It's a damn a proverb, right? Oh, your father never came back. Your father went to go get some milk and never came back. Whatever they say. He walked to the corner store and never came back. Right. Just putting yourself in that shoes of that kid. Hey, you patiently waiting for your father to come back. And he never came back, man. Right? But it's not going to be so with the Lord. Right? I'm going to read the latter end of this verse again. Isaiah 49 and verse 23. The latter end of this verse. It says, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. For they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. But with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we're not going to be ashamed if we patiently wait for him, man. Right? But it requires us to be patient to wait for him. You understand? Let's get another one. Psalms 27 to verse 14. Right? And when we thinking about waiting for the Lord, this can be, like I said at the beginning of the video, this can be dealing with things as major as his salvation, waiting for the return of Yahweh Shai. Right? But it also could just be things waiting for the Lord to, hey, you think you might not be able to eat for the month. You think you might not be able to eat for the week, right? A patient person, they're gonna pray. You understand? They're gonna patiently wait for the Lord to deliver them. They're gonna patiently wait for the Lord to make something happen so that they can eat, right? Make something happen so that they can pay their rent. You understand? That requires patience, though, right? But you can lack faith and you can make haste, right? Now you're going damn. Not trying to be too graphic, but hey, a woman can go do some things for a little change, right? Just to not be too graphic. You know what I'm talking about. You understand? Right. A woman can make haste and say, hey, I don't think the Lord is going to deliver me. I have to go do some things for a little change, right? A man might go, he think he can't pay his rent. Instead of praying and patiently waiting for the Lord, hey, he might go and rob somebody. He might go and kill somebody for their money. You understand? Right, and that's what happens when you lack patience and you make haste in the time of trouble. Right, and we're going to get that as well in Sirach 2. But let me read this first to the Spirit. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 27 and verse 14. It reads, wait on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And that's what we have to do. We have to wait on the Lord in all our times of trouble, in the times of tribulation. Right, and that's what we're living. We literally live in tribulation, being Israelites, especially us being in this truth. We're constantly living through temptation. We're constantly living through trials. You understand? Tribulations, right? Just being in this damn captivity. And what are we doing? We're patiently waiting on the return of our Lord and Savior Yahushua, man. Right? We're patiently waiting. Right? And we can't ever cast away that patience, man. We can't never get impatient. And next thing you know, we back in the road somewhere, man. Right? So never lose that patience is how you're going to possess your souls. And we're going to bring that out. And this is literally what Yahushua said. Right? This is red letter. This is Luke chapter 21 and verse 19. It says, "In patience possess ye your souls," man. That's a heavy scripture, man. That's how you're going to possess your soul, man. That's how you're going to live forever in this thing. Patience is required. Right? Patience is required, man. Right? And I want to read up. I'm going to go up a little bit just to show the context of what Yahushua was teaching them. Right? Because this is speaking about the last days. And we're living in the last days. And patience is definitely going to be required in the times that we're living in. Right? I'm going to start from 12. The whole thing is good. The whole chapter is about the last days. But I'm going to start from 12 just to get a little context. It says, "But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you." Right? So the saints going to be persecuted, delivering you up to synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sakes. Right? Brothers and sisters are going to be cast out of their houses, taken into FEMA camps, things of that matter. Right? It says, "And they shall turn to you for a testimony." It says, "Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what you shall answer." Right? And when we're cast into these prisons, when we're taken before the powers of this world, the kings of this world, the Lord said, don't meditate on what you're going to say. It says, "For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist." Right? "And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolks and friends. And some of you shall they cause to be put to death." Right? So these are the things that's going to be happening in the last days, in the time of Jacob's trouble. You understand? You're going to be betrayed by your loved ones. Right? And some of you will they cause to be put to death. Right? And it says, "And ye should be hated of all men for my name's sake." Right? And we're going to be hated by everybody for the name of Yahushua. Right? And it says, "But there shall not an hair of your head perish." But if you have faith, right? If you don't become faint-hearted in this thing, right? You continue to stay patient. It says, "Not a hair of your head shall perish." The Lord is going to protect you. He's going to preserve you. Right? So now we're going to read verse 19 again, knowing the context of what Yahushua is going into. It says, "In your patience possess ye your souls." Right? And through them trials, to the Salakia, right? Through those times of tribulation, right? You're going to need patience to possess your souls, man. Right? Because once you give up that patience, it's over, man. Right? Let's go to Sirach 2. So you have to understand how important it is to have patience. Right? And this is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 4, and it reads, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee," I'm gonna start from 1. The whole thing is good. It says, this is Sirach 2 and verse 1. Salakia. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." You have to prepare your soul for temptation in this thing. Right? Because in this truth, when you try to fight off, because it's a constant battle with the spirit and the flesh. We know that, right? So when you come into this truth and you're constantly fighting your flesh, you're constantly tempted. You're literally tempted all day, right? You're always tempted. Every time you watching the something on TV, it's a damn something that's gonna tempt you, right? It's a half naked woman, right? It's a for women, it's probably a man with his shirt off that she might find attractive. Right, it's probably it's all matters of folly and vanity. You might see that bacon cheeseburger on the damn TV. Right, some brothers might be dealing with the lust. They thinking about the damn bacon, man. Right, might see that seafood mukbang, whatever they call it. Right, it's all matters of temptation in this world. You understand? Because especially living in Babylon, right? Because Babylon is the land of confusion, and everything here is contrary to the words of the Most High. Right, so it says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in a time of trouble." Right? And you can't make haste in the time of trouble. Right? It says, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." Right? In verse 4 again, it says, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state." So you have to be patient when you're changed to a lower state. Right? You might become homeless in this thing. You might have no food to eat for 2 days. Right? You might lose your wife. A woman might lose their husband. Right? One of your closest loved ones might give up the ghost. They might pass away. But you can't, when you're changed to that lower state, you have to be patient, right? And know the Lord is going to comfort you, right? Don't make haste. You understand? Don't make haste, and now you're in all matters of folly and vanity, man. You're back into sin because you couldn't endure through that time of trouble, because you didn't patiently wait for the Lord to deliver you from that tribulation, right? From that temptation, right? And let's go to, just thinking of a precept, Salak here. Let's go to James, right? Let's go to James 5. This is James chapter 5 and verse 10, and it reads, "Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience." Right? And Job, right? Job is a beautiful example and a beautiful book to show you how important it is to have patience, right? Job went through things that we can't even fathom going through, right? He lost his kids. You understand? He lost his cattle, right? His riches, right? He had a great disease, a great plague came upon him, right? Satan was really getting on him. You understand? And hey, he endured. He patiently endured. You understand? And what happened at the end of Job, right? He was given 100-fold of everything he had because he patiently endured. And Job, on a spiritual level, he represents the elect, those that's going to go through the trials and tribulations on this earth, right? And continue to be patient, continue to endure, and don't wax faint. And they're going to inherit the kingdom of heaven, right? So that's pretty much what Job represents through the Spirit, right? And that's when you think about a lot of our forefathers, man. A lot of our forefathers were patient men, right? They went through a lot of trials. They went through a lot of things, right? But they continued to endure, and they kept their faith in the Lord, right? So there's and faith kind of goes hand in hand with patience in a way, because for you to continue to be patient and wait in the Lord, it requires you to really believe that everything he says is going to come to pass, to really believe in his salvation, to really believe that the Lord is going to deliver you, right? So it goes hand in hand with having faith, right? Because that man that makes haste and he just says, forget this thing, or the Lord is not helping me, he didn't really have faith, man. He lacks faith, right? So it goes hand in hand. So James chapter 5 and verse 10, and it reads, "Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience," right? So take our forefathers as an example of patience, right? When you think about Daniel, right? When you think about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when you think about Jeremiah, all of our forefathers who went through these great captivities, you understand? And they continue to endure and kept their faith in the Lord through great affliction. You understand? When you think about Yahushua, man, right? And verse 11, it says, "Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is pitiful and of tender mercy." Right? Because, hey, like we was going into with Job, Job received 100-fold at the end. So we seen the mercy of the Lord, how the Lord was merciful unto him, man, right? And showed pity unto him, right? And that's what the Lord is going to do to his elect in the last days, man, right? They're going to go through a bunch of trials. Some might be beheaded, right? Some might be locked up into prisons and FEMA camps, right? But hey, as long as they endure, they're going to inherit the kingdom of heaven, man. They're going to see the mercy of the Lord. You understand? Which is a beautiful thing, and it's something that we all hope for through the Spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Right? Let's get that real fast in Romans 8, because we have to really hope for this thing. It's Romans chapter 8 and verse 24. It says, "For we are saved by hope." You see that? Right? You have to really hope in these things, man. Right? Because you're going to be saved by that hope that you have. It says, "But hope that is seen is not hope." Right? But if it's something that you see, it's not hope, man. Right? For example, you might, if you see a bus coming down the street and you waiting for that bus, you're not hoping that bus come, because you see it coming, right? But if you never see that bus, or you never see your ride, whatever it may be, it still haven't came down around the corner where you can see it. You just hoping that it come. Man, I hope this bus damn come, man. It says it's supposed to be here at 8:24. Where is it at? I hope it comes, but once you see it, you're not hoping anymore. You understand? And that's why we're still hoping for the salvation of the Lord, because we didn't see the chariots crack the sky yet. We didn't see Yahushua come and deliver us yet. So we're still hoping that these things happen. You understand? It says, "For what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for it?" Right? Because if you see these things, why do you have to hope for it? If I see the bus coming down the street, why do I have to hope that the bus comes when I see it coming? Right? It's no need of hope at that point. Right? And it says, "But if we hope for that we see not," and that's what we do. We hope for that we see not. We haven't seen Yahushua and the angels crack the sky yet, but we hope that he comes and deliver us, man. Right? And it says, then do we with patience wait for it. And that's why we have to patiently wait for this thing, man. Right? If we hope for that we see not, then we do. With patience, we wait for it. And going back to it on the carnal level, thinking about the bus, right? We're hoping that bus come, right? And yet we don't see it yet, but we patiently wait for it. I hope it comes, right? I'm going to patiently wait for it. How much more on a spiritual level, thinking about the salvation of the Lord, man. Right? Thinking about the Lord delivering us when we're in the lowest state. You understand? And let's go to Hebrews. Let's go to Romans 12 real fast since we already here. Romans 12 and verse 12. It says, I'm gonna start from 11. It says, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Right? That's plain. You got to be patient in the times of tribulation, man. Right? That's when your patience is really being tested. Right? When you pray to the Lord to increase your patience, he might put you through some hard times. He might put you through some trials and tribulations to really test your patience. Right? Because that's how you try that gold through the fire. Right? And that's being the men of the Lord. Right? We represent that gold, and we have to be tried through that furnace of affliction. Right? And through that affliction, you gain more patience. You gain more faith. Right? You gain more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? Because you learn how to deal with certain situations. Right? And you learn how to be patient in the time of trouble. Right? And it's all learned through experience. You understand? And let's go to Hebrews. Go to Hebrews 10. Salaki. Let's go to Hebrews 10 and verse 35, right? And it reads, cast not away therefore your confidence, which have great recompense of reward, right? And it's the point I want, verse 36. For you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of the Most High, you might receive the promise. Let me read that again, right? It says, for you have need of patience. You have need of patience. You need patience in this walk, man. Right? You need patience in this truth. Right? That's why I said at the beginning of the video, this is the key trait. It's one of the most important traits you can have. You need patience in this thing. How could you wait for the Lord if you're not patient? You understand? It doesn't make sense. Right? I hear a lot of brothers in this truth that been in this truth longer than me, and they'll say how a lot of brothers, they come in and they only come in because they see all hell breaking loose. It seems like it's about to be the time of Yahushua is coming. And then once things cool down, these brothers go back into the realm. They lack that patience, man. You understand? And I'm going to read this again. It says, for you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of the Most High, you might receive the promise. Right? So you need patience in this thing. So after you have done the will of the Most High, you might receive the promise, right? And going back to that point of brothers seeing wars breaking loose and seeing all hell breaking loose on the earth, and now they want to come into the truth, or they want to come back into the truth. Hey, that's off, man. That's actually kind of off. You want to do your own thing, but when you think the return of Yahushua is imminent, now you want to come back and pick up your Bible and throw your garment back on. That's off, man. Right? And I'm led to believe the Lord is not going to deliver men with that spirit. Right? You want to do your own thing until you think it's the time that the Lord is about to return, man. That's off as hell. Right? And let's go to Hebrews 6 and verse 15. It says, and so after he had patiently endured, he obtained the promise. You see that? And that's how you're going to obtain the promises of the Lord. Right? Us being the rulers of this world. You understand? Right? The elect sitting upon thrones with Yahushua in the kingdom of heaven. Right? The nations bowing down to us, man. The nations being our servants, being our slaves. Right? That's how we're going to receive these promises, is through enduring unto the end. And patience is required to endure unto the end. How can you endure unto the end, right, through all these different judgments, right, through all these times of trouble with no patience, right? So let me read that again. It says, Hebrews 6 and 15. And so after he had patiently endured, he obtained the promise. So you have to patiently endure to obtain the promise, right? And I'm going to go to Sirach 1. Right? So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 1 and verse 23. And it reads, a patient man will bear for a time, right? So, and it says, and afterward joy shall spring up into him. You see that? A patient man is going to bear for a time, and afterward joy is going to spring up to him. And honestly, Yahushua is like the perfect example of this, man. Right? Yahushua was despised as he walked the earth. Right? The world hated Yahushua. Right? His saints, right? The elect, they loved him. right? But the world, the society that he lived in, they hated Yahushua, man, right? They hated him so much that they crucified him. You understand? They spit on him. They beat him. You understand? Right? Sent them from trial to trial. Yahushua had 6 trials. You understand? And they beat him. They spit upon him. And ultimately, they hung him up and crucified him. You understand? But he patiently endured through all these things. And what do Yahushua, Salakia, bear with me. What does Yahushua have waiting for him in the kingdom of heaven? Right? He have a kingdom waiting for him. An everlasting kingdom. You understand? Right? So I'm going to read this again. Sirach chapter 1 and verse 23. It says, a patient man will bear for a time. Right? And afterward, joy shall spring up unto him. And that's going to be the elect. Right? That's going to be the elect. They're going to bear for a time. And afterward, they're going to live forever in the kingdom of heaven. Right? And joy is going to spring up unto them, man. They're going to have no more sorrow in the kingdom of heaven. Right? No more tears. No more stress. No more working for the so-called white man. No more pain. You understand? In the kingdom of heaven, right? They're going to have joy, everlasting life, right? Which is something that we can't fathom in these carnal bodies, in our carnal mind, man. Living forever, right? A lot of people, they read about Adam, they read about Methuselah, how they lived over 900 years and things of that matter, and they kind of scratching they damn head, man. They can't really fathom these things, right? So how much more the elect in the kingdom of heaven living forever and never dying, man? Right? But the only way we're going to obtain these things is through patience, through endurance. Right? And I want to stay in Sirach. I want to go to chapter 2. Right? So this is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 14. And it reads, woe unto you that have lost patience. Right? And the Lord said death and destruction unto that man or to that sister that loses patience. It says, because when you lose patience and you say, hey, I don't think Yahushua is returning. I don't think the Lord is going to deliver me. Right? You kind of lose patience in this thing. The Lord is taking too long. Right? Now you back in the world. Right? It says, so that's why it says death and destruction. Right? Woe unto you that lose patience. Right? That have lost patience. And what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? And that day when the angels crack the sky, when Yahushua actually does return and you see these things happening, what are you going to do? You lost patience. You gave it all up. Right? You gave up this truth. Right? You gave up your faith. Right? What are you going to do when you see these things come to pass? Right? Hey, it's death and destruction unto you. You understand? So we don't want to lose patience in this thing, man. We want to endure unto the end if it be according to the Lord's will. And I'm going to bring this out in Luke 21 and verse 34. Is this what I want? I think it's something else I want. Salakia, bro, with me. I don't think this is what I want. Bear with me. Yeah, this is what I want. Salakia, bear with me. Salakia, this is exactly what I want. This is Luke 21 and verse 34. It says, and this is red letter. It says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any times your heart be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unawares, right? Because you can possibly lose patience, and next thing you know, all you care about is the cares of this life. You're not waiting on the salvation of the Lord anymore, right? It says, for as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man, right? Hey, and that's what we have to do. We have to watch and pray always. Right, that we may be accounted to stand, to be worthy to stand before the Son of Man. Right, and it's another one I want. I believe is Matthew 24. Right, I haven't pulled this account in a while, so you gotta kind of wipe the dust off of it. I'm gonna bring this out. This is Matthew 24 and verse 42. It says, watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord doeth come. But know this, that as the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh. Right, and the Lord is going to return, man. So don't be overcharged with the cares of this life, man. Right, and become impatient. Right, continue to wait on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Continue to wait for the salvation of the Lord. Right. Hey, because he's going to come at an hour that we think not, man. He's going to come like a thief in the night, right? And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach wa Malaki Yahushai, right? And continue to read, continue to pray, continue to fast, continue to study, continue to love your brothers and sisters in this thing, continue to do all that you can do to magnify the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, right? I want to give a mighty shalom to the mighty Akyem wa Akwat that tuned in to listen to the words of the Lord, right? And shalom, Yasha Allah.